WFWA main event wrestling. You see Chris Jericho making his way into the ring after talking things over with the fans. His opponent tonight from Chicago, Illinois, Stan Saxon.
And this Chris Jericho has charisma. He is oozing it. And clearly a favorite of the crowd, at least as the match begins. Stan Saxon, of course, an impressive record as well, Joe. I think this is going to be a very exciting match.
You better believe it will. Stan Saxon sizing himself up against Chris Jericho. And Saxon, Pearl Harbor attack, if you will. And oh, wow. Listen to that.
You can hear it from here, Joe.
3 chops by this
4,
young man.
5,
6 chops now. Reverse rip or whip. Back body drop. The flying drop kick. What a match so far. We just got underway in this one.
Well, Jericho responded very quickly to that early assault by Stan Saxon, and at the moment is taking control. This could be one of those seesaw things, though, Joe. I don't know. It's hard to gauge at this point.
Oh, big shoulder block there.
Oh, but Jericho can knock him down. He's a big man, and he took him down. Oh, but the same can be said for Stan Saxon. Look at that maneuver.
Nice hip toss by Saxon.
Oh, and a mistake there.
You're looking at Chris Jericho from New York City, New York, in the orange trunks. His opponent in the black and white is Stan Saxon from Chicago, Illinois. You'll be seeing a lot more of both these young men here in the territory.
I have to believe that, Joe. There's lots of talent in that ring right now.
It's my second look at a man by the name of Chris Jericho from New York City. Very impressive young man. The ladies definitely like him. Nice leapfrog, reverse leapfrog, and an elbow that lands square on the chops.
He's going to be hard to beat if he keeps moving like that. Saxon has more bulk, Joe, but perhaps not the agility.
Nice wishbone there, chicken wishbone.
There goes my head, Mother. Forget the bicycle helmet.
Right there on the shoulders and the back of the neck, Larry. That definitely smarts. It could numb a man's neck and knock him out.
Oh, I wouldn't have been moving for a week.
Jericho now with a nice chin lock. Applying a lot of pressure there.
I'll bet Stan Saxon wishes he was Joe Clark without a chin at this point.
I'm not going to get into a political battle here with you, but
no
I guess
problem.
you're right.
Oh, he's returning those smacks from earlier.
Jericho!
Oh, Jericho!
Nice monkey flip!
Oh, my goodness!
Saxon has to be wishing he was back home in Chicago.
I would think so, Joe. He's been taking a beating from Jericho, whose optimism, enthusiasm, and energy and agility cannot be topped.
Well, Stan Saxon, he's been around. He's more of a brawler, though. Of course, you see a lot more of the finesse.
There's a real place for brawlers, too, though, and sometimes the brawlers can overcome the agile ones. But, again, we have to watch the match.
Well, if both these men stick to their styles of wrestling and don't get played out by the other, you're going to see a very interesting match here between Jericho, the agile one, and Saxon, the brawler. And there you go, an eye gouge. He's the kind of guy that'll throw the rule book right out the window.
That's the first indication of that I think we've seen, though, Joe, and as far as I could tell.
Threw Jericho into that second turnbuckle, picking him up here, maybe a suplex. Oh, he's got him up there. Good-looking suplex by Saxon.
Jericho looks hurt. Could this? No, it can't be.
He didn't hook any kind of leg there. Saxon went for the pin, but he didn't hook the leg. Oh, what a back body drop by Saxon, who has come on now.
Shouting defiantly at the pro-Jericho crowd as well, Joe.
Well, he's got to contend with the man inside the ring, never mind the people around it, because he's got his hands full with Jericho. He's on top of things right now, though. A couple of big forearms. And Saxon trying to size him up, slowing things down a bit to his pace. Nice cradle. He might have him. Nice cradle.
Oh, that was absolutely magnificent. But again, Saxon comes right back.
He surprised Saxon, but Larry, he didn't have enough weight on top of him. He only hooked him with the one arm and leg there. And that's what might have caused the the kick out by Saxon. Beautiful maneuver by Chris Jericho, New York City, New York in the orange, and Stan Saxon from Chicago, the beast of the East, if you will.
He is a beast.
These two guys have been booked for more up-and-coming shows here in the territory. Stay tuned to your television sets for more details. 2 count. Jericho gets that arm up, though, to the crowd's approval. This has been a dandy.
This has been a dandy. Most of it above board, Joe, displaying the talents of 2 different styles of wrestling.
Body press.
Oh, what a move!
1, 2. Only a 2 count.
So close and yet so far.
Jericho might have lost a little steam there, too, as well as Saxon. And Saxon comes back with that elbow to the small of the neck. You can tell this match is taking its toll on them both. Saxon sizing them up with a chin lock. I'll tell you, Larry, you're seeing a lot of old-fashioned wrestling out of these 2 up-and-coming stars. Well-schooled, both of them.
I think they both have appropriate respect for the heritage of this sport and some of their predecessors. They've watched tapes and watched matches and listened to advice, Joe.
What a mix of stars you're going to be seeing in the territory. I mean, with Ken Patera appeared here a couple of years ago. Jumping Jimmy Brunzell here. The Barons here. The young stars like Jericho, Saxon, Easy Rider, The Natural, Jason Power, Mike Lazansky. The list goes on and on. Some top talent in the territory.
Certainly is. And we're seeing 2 of the up-and-coming greats here. Jericho taking a blow from the mighty Stan Saxon.
Saxon landed.
Oh, he's holding his throat. Cancel the voice lessons, Mama. I'm not singing tonight.
Jericho, full effect. He fell to that blow by Saxon. Irish whip off the rope. He rebounds quickly,
oh, my word.
Only a 2 count on the sunset flip.
So close.
What a maneuver. Jericho recovering quickly, though. A big chop now, and those will take its toll from Saxon. Whip into the other turnbuckle, opposite ends, and kapow!
Oh, Saxon leaves his arm on the turnbuckle.
Moves out of the way, and Saxon eats a little turnbuckle. Saxon felt the
Oh, he's
effects.
still hurt. He's just holding on. He can't move.
Hip toss there.
These combatants, like warriors of old, just trying to hang on.
Suplex now by Jericho. Dose of the medicine handed out earlier by Saxon. He wants to go up top. This kid can fly. Big landing maybe. Hold.
What a move!
He might have a 1.
I think he might.
2. Oh, yeah. That's all she wrote. And your winner is Chris Jericho, the young, impressive star from New York City, New York. He's making his appearances right here in the WFWA.
Well, all right. When I pulled up today at Club Taboo, I saw 100 screaming fans and 100 screaming kids chanting my name, and I realized right then and there that Winnipeg is a cool place to be hanging out. You know, I haven't been wrestling for too long, but I've been diving in head first. And whether the water is shallow or whether the water is deep is for me to find out. But if I'm going under for the 3rd time and I can't breathe no more, the fans come around me and pump me up, and they're like a big old life jacket. And then I can rise to the surface and breathe again, because I've got the drive to survive and to stay alive. And I can't wait to show you people how I'm going to do it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next contest. Call it one fall with the 15-minute time limit. Chris Jericho and Kerry Brown. We have gotten underway. I was just doing the introduction.
We have got us a match, Joe Aiello.
I was trying to do the introductions, and Jericho came behind Pearl Harbor's Kerry the Pitbull Brown. And Jericho on fire. The crowd loved every second of it. And yet to see Brown recover, I don't even know if he's going to make it back into the ring. He slammed him damn hard into that table.
Kerry Brown looks hurt.
I can't tell from here, but Kerry Brown could have been cut wide open.
Chris Jericho is ruthless. He's going to take him by the big old tights and throw that heaving piece of meat into the ring.
Jericho going upstairs early in this one, setting him up for something. Only he lands.
Oh, no. Kerry Brown is cut.
And cut wide open across the forehead. And Chris Jericho only has one thing in mind here, to open up that wound more and more. Brown definitely going to need stitches after this one, as the young man from New York City, New York, just opened a big apple of his own on that big cucumber of a head there.
Nice line, Joe. Leave the comedy to me, but that was a great line. Okay, here we go. Oh, my word.
I don't know, Kerry Brown, he doesn't know whether he's coming, going, or gone. He is bleeding pretty bad from that forehead. I don't know if the referee's going to have to stop this one. But Brown...
He is cut. He's cut.
Jericho on fire before this one even got going. It caught me, you, and everybody else off guard, including the Pitbull. Will Brown be able to recover? The only question left unanswered in this one.
I don't know that this is going to go very long, Joe. I'm just not... Jericho is absolutely ruthless here. With crowd support as well, I might add.
This young kid has come on strong in the last few weeks. And look what he's done, a Pitbull Brown before the match even started. And I'll tell you, he's going to get fan support all over the country for just doing that. Oh, but Brown.
Oh, Brown finally makes a move.
This Pitbull can definitely fight, just like his nickname. This has turned out to be a slugfest now, back and forth. I don't know what Brown's got left in him here, but Jericho is only content on working on that cut.
Oh, Brown is down.
I'll tell you one thing for certain, of course, his father, the great hockey legend, Teddy Irvin. I don't know if Ted ever dropped the gloves as fast as his kid has here. Jericho is going to work. And I'll tell you, Kerry Brown hasn't run more than a kilometer, never mind a Jericho mile, but he is going the distance in this one.
Well, I've seen Teddy Irvin put down the gloves, and he does his boy proud.
And Teddy knows we're just kidding him.
Oh, of course he does.
He knows a lot of people living here in the Winnipeg area. His son, born and raised in New York City, New York. Really a homecoming for Chris Jericho in this one, and he is making a name for himself. Landing that big haymaker to the head, and Brown falls like an oak tree.
I don't know that he's going to survive this. Oh, it's incredible. It's incredible.
I'll take my hat off to Brown just for having stamina to go this long with a big wound open up over the head.
I'll lift my hairpiece to him myself, Joe.
It's Larry Updike we're talking about here.
I know, I don't have a hairpiece. I'm just kidding. Okay, oh, my word.
I don't know how I can win in this kind of a case. I've got you next to me here at ringside having a good time. But I'll tell you, that right hand of Jericho's got blood on it, and I can guarantee it's from the head of the Pitbull, Kerry Brown.
Oh, this is...
The crowd is just counting it out. I feel like an episode of Sesame Street here, Larry, but this one has gone 5 minutes, and it's been all Jericho.
I think the referee might call the match at some point, Joe. I don't know if... Oh, and Brown is pummeled into
Larry,
the turnbuckle.
You know, I was just thinking about this. This whole match caught us off by surprise. It's been going for 5 minutes now. And where is Bulldog Bob Brown? Nowhere to be seen at ringside next to the Pitbull.
The last time I saw Kerry Brown in the ring, Daddy was at ringside. Where is he tonight?
I know this is no father and son picnic, as Kerry's finding out in there against Jericho. But I am wondering, where is the Bulldog? No!
Oh, my goodness! Oh, no!
Jericho, and Chris Jericho could have injured his knee. He took a big spill from the top rope.
I cannot believe that. Oh, my goodness.
As soon as I spoke about Brown, he must have heard me or something. We got to get somebody in the ring the bell for crying out loud.
What is going on?
They could end this young man's career just as it got started here in the territory.
The shameless buggery. Oh, the referee is gone.
Come on.
Oh, the humanity.
Come on, Mike Lazinski's coming in.
Oh, my goodness.
Here we go. We got a real Donnybrook going on now.
We got a rumble.
All four of them in there now. Brown and Jericho going at it. I'll tell you, this one has turned out to be a Donnybrook.
It's out of control, Joe. It's out of control.
And the Browns are taking a beating right now, but they are ready. Oh, Terry Brown is biting Jericho while Lazinski's choking the daylights out of the Bulldog. We trying to get luck. The referee's got to break this one up, and the Browns.
I have never seen the likes.
Look at the pit bull. He is bleeding profusely from that forehead. Now they're going to work on Lazinski outside of the ring. This one, I don't know. We don't have an official. Oh, Jericho!
Oh, the referee is tossed across the ring.
They are going to be fine, tagged up, but I don't think they care.
Oh, my goodness.
Bob
Brown is being beaten.
Who said you can't teach an old dog some new tricks? These two up-and-coming stars. Larry, I don't have an official decision, but unofficially, we got to give the victory to Jericho for outside interference.
I would think so.
Two stars on the rise here in the WFWA, Mike Lazinski and Chris Jericho.
Well, you know, the competition is getting mighty, mighty tough around here. Let me remind you that Chris Jericho, you know, that Mike Lazinski, hey, they're on the loose. They're on the prowl. They're after big wins. And, you know, to get in the ring with Bulldog Bob Brown and Kerry Brown, whether it's singles or tag team, anywhere in the province of Manitoba, anywhere in the province of Saskatchewan, and even out there in Newfoundland. Yeah, we're coming. But I guarantee you one thing, Chris Jericho and Mike Lazinski, you may have the youth, and we're the veterans. But I guarantee you, when smoke clears the ring, you'll see the veterans always on top.
You remember when you were little and you used to get spanked for getting into things that you shouldn't have? Well, now you're doing the same thing, but you're a little bit bigger. We're not going to spank you. We're going to beat you from pillar to post. So kids, pull up your socks. When you enter the ring with the Browns, make sure that you come with both guns packing.
And you can even get a look at Miss Kitty. What a wonderful gal.
Let the young men do their thing and hopefully flush out Brown more in the natural on one-on-one confrontations, and you might have a battle. And look who's starting us off, Kaniski and Brown, and this is the match that people dream about right here.
Someone who didn't like either one of them would say, both very deserving.
You know, the hardest thing in a match like this is if you get those two heads together, there isn't much difference between the looks and the haircut.
That's true. I mean, would we say which one is the more beautiful?
I don't think it's going to matter in this one because these two men are not in it for the Jericho contest. Brown in a bad predicament here. Move to the midsection. In comes Morrow now, and we could have a big collection. All three of them like a domino effect, and Nick Kaniski's a one-man wrecking crew.
All like little bowling pins. You know, of course, earlier we said something about Curly and Moe.
Now you've got the three
Now we got the three. Yeah, we shouldn't do that. That's not fair.
Well, I can say that had to work next to guys like Brown in the natural for too long now, Nick. And you know these guys. And you're right. Well, we could probably have to keep it pretty much straight here. But once in a while, I got to let it slip out.
I see.
Kaniski now in a bad situation. And in comes toward the impact, Jericho and Storm. Well, they're not doing Kaniski any good here.
Boy, Kaniski has been beaten on from pillar to post, from one side of the wall to the other. It's going to take an awful lot of, so to speak, whipping on him before they put this guy down. He can take one hell of a beating.
Jericho now came from the other side there to help Kaniski. They're trying to choke up Kaniski. This is a very bad situation. 3-on-1. And now, no one can tell me that one referee can call a match like this, and if he can, hey, power to him.
Well, actually, I've seen in the past where they've had two referees. One in the ring, one out of the ring. I've seen it where they've had two referees in the ring, and surprisingly, it's still a difficult job to do.
Let me ask you now, what's your philosophy? If you were a man like Kaniski with two young bucks in your corner against two veterans and a young buck by the name of the Natural, how do you size them down, Nick?
Well,
he made the tag, Kaniski.
Just enough to get himself out of trouble and then get over and tag. One thing about Kaniski is no fear. And he knows the age factor. And before he allows himself to take a horrendously terrible pounding, he's going to take and tag his partner and get out of there.
And you know why he's in the six-man tag? He wants to see some Brown and Morrow. And I guarantee you there's got to be a lot of history behind this Brown and Kaniski feud. I can remember back to the Pacific Northwest in the early 80s. He's trying to tell the referee, what am I supposed to do?
I think what it is the one is very disgusted with the other because one or the other copied the other one's haircut.
This is more or less along the line. We could even have a haircut match here, Nick. There's nothing to lose on either one of them.
No.
But there's got to be a lot of pride at stake.
That, no matter how... When we stand here, we make cute remarks, and it's only because we see some of the off-the-wall side of things, but there's professional pride up there, and regardless of what anybody says, every man in that ring wants to shine. Ego and validation as to everything we do goes on constantly. Watch this.
Oh, looky here. Beautiful maneuver there, but Nick, you're right. A little too stubborn, maybe. I love the guy dearly. He's a good friend of mine, Chris Jericho, but he had to get Storm in there.
Absolutely.
Or even Kaniski.
Well, the thing was, you know, he's still in a strong reserve position. But that would have been a perfect time to tag because he had made his spurt, he had used his energy, and he could have taken tag Storm. Storm would have picked the tempo up right away.
Oh, shoulder block there. You could hear that one. Left under. Oh, beautiful maneuver there. You know, Nick, that's one of those newer maneuvers you're talking about. It's actually like an old joke. You know, there's thousands of ways to tell it, but it all originates to the same thing. One move, and he hooked the arm around and went right back to work on that arm.
I don't want to make it feel bad, but the same move is being made about 30 years ago.
And that's why I wasn't around for that one, Nick. Now you're showing my age.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what action we're seeing here in this one. Beautiful arm strike there by Lance Storm.
Storm got more focused. He took a beat. He slowed down a little, and he actually executed the move even better than he has in the past week. What happens, though, with a lot of moves, it's almost like fashion. Someone will use it. A number of wrestlers will come into fashion. A number of wrestlers will duplicate it because they see it all the time. It will be used, and all of a sudden, like a lot of things, like fashion, it'll go away, and you might not see it for 15 or 20 years. But the same move has been made a long time ago by a lot of other great wrestlers.
Whoa! Beautiful hip toss there by Lance Storm, and right back to work this time on the arm of the Natural. They've got a great pace going in this match, Kaniski, Storm, and Jericho. Making quick tags, and in comes the veteran. And he's going to take it. We've got a former world champion against a former Canadian champion, and I've got a former world champion here. I'll tell you one thing, the only belt I've ever had is one from J.C. Penney, and I've got it on right now, Nick.
Well, somebody said there was another one. It was a challenge or something.
I can't help but look at this. Now you've got a fox going after a hound here in Kaniski and Brown. And oh no, look at this now. Kaniski.
He made that, Jerry. No,
Look at the other one now. And Mean Gene is going to work now. He's going to shoulder block him.
He directed those kids. He said, get on in here. We're going to have some fun.
He's got to be the minister in this one, the king of the castle. Kaniski, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, if you think he's lost a step, take a good look. This man has stirred up a big crowd here to see this man come out of retirement. Whoa!
Oh, Brown's getting nasty.
You know, Nick, I was just about to say that Kaniski, he had the pace, the tempo going, and then he slowed it right back down, not to use up more energy than he had to. We've got all 6 of them in there, Nick.
What it amounts to is a mini battle royal already.
Holy cow! Laura by Kaniski. Brown and Kaniski back and forth. Holy cow, get away from me. We've lost the microphone. I don't know what we're supposed to keep doing here. Holy cow, come on, you guys. Get him away from me. We've got action inside the ring. We've got Brown and Kaniski outside the ring. We're trying to call the play-by-play. Here we go. Let's get up to the ring. Double. Double. I can't even speak here, Nick. And everybody's bailing out. We got Kaniski and Brown in the corner. And I can't believe what's going on in this one.
I'm just back on the air. My microphone just got put back on me.
We've had more action.
I presume. I don't know.
Holy cow! I've just lost the truth.
I don't know.
I just lost my mic on that one, but we are back, and I hope we're still running.
What is, has there been a decision here?
I'll give you one, Nick. There is no contest in this one. I don't know. I could be wrong here, but Nick, the choice of the fans, you know who the winners are according to the...
All the action's going to speak for itself in the squared circle. 22 of the top wrestlers in the game today, including names like Gene Kaniski, Canada's greatest athlete, Bulldog Bob Brown, Champagne Jerry Morrow, as well the Natural, Gene Swan, plus many other top stars took part to see who would become the new WFWA heavyweight champion. Let's take you up to the ring to see who became the new champion right here on WFWA Main Event Wrestling. We're going to join this one in progress.
You've got the 4 of them in there with Jericho, Kaniski, and Bobby James. You've got 4-on-3 a predicament if that's the way they want to go about it. And that's dangerous for one of them anyway, for a double team effort.
Here's where you see a lot of the duplicity and a lot of counting and swerving. Everybody trying to get everybody to help everybody. It almost comes down to about a 4-man tag match with all 8 people in the ring.
Jericho just been eliminated. The Natural just, well, basically lifted him over the top rope as Jericho was coming.
Look at Bob Brown over in the corner. He's going, oh, isn't this nice?
Oh, Kaniski! He was waiting for it. I thought he got stunned. Saxon's been eliminated as well. Holy cow, Bulldog could be gone. Oh, Morrow, and there's where that alliance came in handy for a man like the Bulldog.
Sure, he's right there. They're really watching out for each other's back now.
Look at this now, Kaniski. He doesn't want to take on somebody, but he's going to take on the natural. And Giannetti now with a shot to the midsection. You know, Kaniski, exactly like you call, he's going to keep his back to the ropes or the turnbuckles because he knows Morrow and Brown. I don't even know if they care about the title as much as putting out. Oh, both of them have been eliminated. The Natural and Bobby J, we're down to final three. Nick, can you call it from here? I don't know. I'd like to see Kaniski, but you never know.
Well, that's the Natural crowd favorite at this point. This man at the age he is, coming out of retirement for the matches the past few weeks. There's no love lost between any of these people, but you definitely have got three veterans here.
And they're stalking their prey, are they not? You know, you're not going to see a lot of action with these three in there right now because they're all playing each other's strategies.
Bob Brown said, you're not going to get away from it. You're going to get beat.
But Kaniski's been around too long to fall for that. Karate thrust there if you will. Oh, and Morrow just took a chop. Here you go. Now this is where, oh, look at them. Both of them are going to work on Kaniski. That hard headbutt of Jerry Morrow. Nick, this could cost them. A clothesline that landed. It didn't look pretty, but you're not going to get a pretty sight with those three in there anyway.
There's nothing pretty about the three of them to begin with. Looks like he's trying to work on that cauliflower ear.
Does a guy like Gene have to counteract now and wait for a mistake to happen, Nick? Or does
well, he's got to try to keep his wits about him because at this point, he can be dazed, he can be half out of it. You try to keep us cognizant. You live in a...
Look at Kaniski. That's not a look of pain. That's a look of anger. And you're, oh, call him an old man if you will, but I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to be on the other end of those shots whatsoever.
There's three old dogs in there that are chewing and scratching and scraping, clawing at each other.
Oh, a big boot tomorrow, and he threw a bulldog. Bob Brown has been eliminated, and Kaniski, he just realized that Brown's been eliminated. Jake Kaniski, Nick! Jake, hold on, the referee didn't see it though, Nick. The referee didn't see Morrow go over. The referee was being sabotaged, but oh, come on! Nick, we're both in awe. You saw what happened. Gene, well, we can't help you. Nick, we saw what happened.
That's a choice on our part.
Nick, I mean, we saw Kaniski take Brown over. He walked over to Brown, not thinking that he was out. He noticed the feet were down. He took Jerry Morrow and threw him over the rope. The referee didn't see it. Morrow, thinking quickly, ran back in the ring, took out Kaniski. And ladies and gentlemen, I wish I could be telling you differently, Nick, but it's all history. The new WFWA Canadian Heavyweight Champion is Champagne Jerry Morrow, and I'm sure Kaniski is not finished with this one.
No, all this is going to do is inspire that big Polak to stay around quite a while.
I tell you, get out of here.
I tell you, there's something Nick can do down. Too hot to
Get up.
There's something.
Not like
There's
this.
something.
Why don't you get up, boy, one time, hey?
I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, come on. Holy cow, Sam. All right, come on. Holy cow. All right, wrestling fans, you just saw what happened a few minutes ago, and G. Kaniski, as far as I was concerned,
should have been crowned the new WFWA heavyweight champion because of your friend Bulldog Bob Brown distracting the referee. You came back in from the outside and threw Kiniski over a misjustice, an injustice, call it what you will. You should not be the champion.
Why you say that? Why?
Because Gene Kiniski threw you legitimately over the top rope.
Do you see my feet touch the ground, sir?
I actually don't want to see any part of you in this interview with this belt, and I can guarantee you one thing, Mr. Morrow. It is not the end of Gene Kiniski and yourself.
That's champagne, J-Mo, for you, sir. And listen to me, I'm the best. Who's the champion? The champagne man. Well, always be the champion.
Let me remind you one thing. He went in the ring with 24 guys and came out to 24th. Why don't you shake his hand? Why don't you give him a kiss? Why don't you hug him and say, congratulate champion? What's wrong with you? You're just as bad as I thought you were.
The only hand I'm going to shake is this one, waving goodbye to both of you. Get out of my sight. We'll be right back.
For all you Mohans in Winnipeg who don't know me, this is the champagne man. Mr. Condolo fly me all the way to Calgary to show you people what I can do. I told you something. Just put me in the square circle there when all this Mohan there, and they be handed in the hospital. Because on my game, people doesn't fool around. You know, they hang out in the hospital when they're blocking arm, blocking neck, blocking back, everything you can do. Because the champagne man coming to Winnipeg just to show you guys what to do.
Doesn't know what's happening right now, but he's got to get his marbles straight. And look at Jericho talking it up with the fans. He loves the crowd support he receives wherever he travels throughout Manitoba, throughout Canada for that matter. And they're locking up. Collared elbow hookup now. Side headlock. Taking him over now. Now we got him in a headlock. And look at that move. Locking that arm behind the back now. And Jericho showing some great amateur maneuvering there. Winding up with that arm now. He's taking it over, wrapping it around that wrist, applying a lot of pressure now. Chris Jericho, formerly from New York City, New York, now making his home in Los Angeles, California. And Jericho landing that elbow down on that arm now, adding a little bit more pressure now as he's locking up a form of the figure four on that arm lock. And picking him up now. Ready, set, and set to fire. Something here, Irish whip and an arm drag takedown there. Jericho right back to work on that arm again. The man very impatient in that ring, but I'll tell you, does he ever do a great job? The man with the long blonde hair. Sudden impact, Chris Jericho, one of the few chances I've had to see this young man in singles competition landing that elbow, but you have to be impressed with this. Armbar now, and the Wild Thing yet to mount any kind of offense in this one. One fall with a 10-minute time limit. Chris Jericho, if you're just joining us, 218 pounds from Los Angeles. His opponent, the Wild Thing, short suplex there. The Wild Thing weighing in at 228 pounds from the wilds of Alaska. And Jericho, well, it's been all him so far in this one, working over that arm, doing a great job. For a young man, showing a lot of experience working over that one body part. Irish whip coming, maybe. Yes, it is. Wow, what a drop kick there by Jericho from a standing position. Landing square, and then an elbow on the back of the neck there for good measure. Trying to go for the pin. Too close to the ropes, and the Wild Thing just saved himself from a loss by putting that left leg over the bottom ring strand. Oh, big knee lift there by Jericho. And he's talking it up with the crowd again. You can tell, you can see the confidence in that young man. He's got the crowd going. And take a look. I don't know if he should be taking that much time, though, talking to the crowd. He's got a big man in there, 228 pounds worth. In the Wild Thing. Irish whip off the ropes, flying body press that works. And Jericho could probably go for the pin now. It sure seems that way, but he's taking a little bit too much time now. Another Irish whip coming into the opposite turnbuckle, and that one cost him. Jericho might have hit his head or his jaw on the ring post outside the ring. This could be the mistake that the Wild Thing has been looking for to turn this one around. That one could have cost Jericho dearly. Picking him up now, the Wild Thing with an Irish whip of his own. And a knee for good measure, trying to stun the young man from Los Angeles. Irish whip now off the ropes. Oh, what a clothesline. Short clothesline that lands, and you can see the expression on Chris Jericho's face. And a boot, out of nowhere. And another one. Trying to kick a couple of field goals. I don't know if the Wild Thing has any football experience. Kind of a shoulder block with a knee added into the midsection. As you can see, great camera work there. A good look at the face of Chris Jericho. In a lot of pain right now. Oh, and a big knife edge chop there. And a knee for good measure to the midsection again. It's all Wild Thing now in the corner. Picking him up for a body slam. He got him. And the Wild Thing now going up to the second rope. Trying something out here. Oh, that elbow lands. He might have him. He's not even going for the pin. He wants more. He might be biting off a little bit more than he can chew here. High aerial maneuver all the way to the top floor. And he moves out of the way. Telegraphed that one. Jericho. Enough experience to move out of the way. And he has turned this one around. That's all it takes in the world of professional wrestling. One mistake by your opponent. And, oh, a standing drop kick. Great agility by that young man. He's thinking on going up top now. And this man can fly. Let's get set here. What a roll. Take a look at that maneuver. The first time I've ever seen it. He might have him, and he does. Your winner. How about it? Sudden impact. Chris Jericho.
All right, Winnipeg. I'm back again after touring all across Canada for the last couple months. And once again, I'm back in my favorite place to wrestle. You know, there's always new competition coming around here, and there's always new guys to fight. There's always new guys to beat, and once in a while, you know, you get beat up a little bit too. But that's part of the game. But what I'm here to say is that I'm happy to be back, and I'll be wrestling anybody that wants to go, because I'm still flying, and I'm still ready to greet all the fans, and I'm still ready to wrestle. Because I'm going to wrestle the best that I can, and everybody outside in Winnipeg better watch out. Because Jericho is back, and I'm ready to attack, baby.
On their side of the ring, you have to do a tag team action. Irish whip now off the rope. St. Clair, he takes that drop kick by Chi Cruz, and here we go. Only a 2 count, though, maybe almost a 3. And I'll tell you what, St. Clair showing a lot of fight left in him after that maneuver. I'm surprised he even got up after that drop kick. But we got to get Jewel in there, I guess, if you're a fan of St. Clair and Jewel, that team anyway. You got to get Jewel in there. St. Clair making some mistakes here because he should be making the tag. Get the fresh man in.
Well, you know, Lenny St. Clair has a lot of confidence, as would you if you were a champion in Japan as he is, and if you were a champion in Western Canada as he has been in the past. Lenny St. Clair is a fabulous athlete, and he's also a very tough individual. When you wrestle in Japan, you learn a different style. You learn the very tough ways of the Japanese, and now he's doing the smart thing, as you said earlier, first smart thing you said today, and he's tagging in Brian Jewell, and look at him go to work on Chi Cruz. Come on, Brian.
Holy cow, Jewel, what a brawler, landing those big blows there, and another one, and I can guarantee you that was a close fist. No love, oh, what a drop kick there. And I'll tell you what, Jewel has come into this match and made a big difference already. But look at these two men go back and forth now. Tooth and nail. Holy cow, look at Jewel. He made the tag and he suckered him.
Suckered him? Why would you say sucker? He kicked him in the stomach. Big deal. That happens all the time. It's not a sucker move. It's a nice move. And Lenny St. Clair with a DDT, and he may have knocked him out.
Holy cow, only a 2 count, but you're absolutely right. Surprise there when Lenny St. Clair DDT'd the heavyweight champion, Chi Cruz. And now on the other side of this one, Cruz has got to make the tag, but look at these two men. This one's going to turn out to be a big brawl.
It's a big brawl already, Joe, and you saw that DDT. Chi Cruz, a Canadian heavyweight champion, he's a great athlete. You are not going to pin him unless you grapevine the leg. You've got to neutralize both the legs so he cannot kick out, and Chi Cruz came out the back door because Lenny forgot to grapevine the leg.
I can guarantee you one thing, ladies and gentlemen, if you get a chance to see the stars of the WFWA live in your area, get your tickets early, whether singles action or tag team matches or whatever it may be on the marquee. I can guarantee you one thing, when it's the WFWA, it's the best in Canadian wrestling. Oh, big elbow there by Brian Jewell. I can guarantee you there's a lot of feuds brewing here in the WFWA. You're taking a look at one of them right now. Brian Jewell and Chi Cruz. Big chop there by Jewell now, and another. Oh, wow, what a right hand. And there's also a feud going on between Lenny St. Clair and sudden impact Chris Jericho. Another one brewing between you and Bulldog Bob Brown. I'll tell you one thing, you gotta keep on top of the action week after week or you're gonna miss something.
Oh, you're definitely going to miss it. And what we're missing right now is a toe-to-toe boxing match between Brian Jewell and Chi-Chi Cruz. I mean, they are slapping the you-know-what out of each other. And what a kick by Brian Jewell right to the chest of Chi-Chi Cruz. And I think it may be all for the cruiser.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a pleasure to get up to Kenora, Ontario, about 1 week away, Monday night, August the 10th. The Kenora Rec Center. I'll tell you, the roof might come down with action like this. Pick up your tickets at the Kenora Shoppers Mall or at Tilley's Pharmacy. You don't dare want to be disappointed at the door with action like this on the marquee. Big booth there. And now you can see that St. Clair and Jewell are starting to gel as a tag team. This one's been an off-on battle for both teams. They got to take advantage of their advantages.
I would have to say at this point that Chi-Chi Cruz and Chris Jericho are a little bit behind on points. If this were a boxing match, which it's not, although one would think it might be with all the punches that we have seen. But I think that Cruz is in a lot of trouble right now. And as you mentioned, starting to gel as a tag team. And I'm talking about Brian Jewell and Lenny St. Clair. And there's a beautiful fist right to the throat. I think Chi-Chi Cruz may get pinned.
I can't see that happening just yet in this match. He's got a lot of fight going. You can see him trying to build himself up here, get his adrenaline pumping through his body, through his veins. And Lenny St. Clair, nice forearm there, uppercut, if you will, and a kick there that lands as Cruz tried to turn it around. But he's got to make the tag. Uh-oh, it looks like Cruz. He's getting a little mad in there. I'll tell you one thing, ladies and gentlemen. If he can turn this one around, he's got to make that tag. But St. Clair, he is staying on top of him like a winter coat.
Oh, Chi-Chi Cruz, I mean, he has had Lenny St. Clair all over him like flies on you-know-what. And that's not a little joke on Chi-Chi Cruz. I'm just trying to illustrate my point. What a great athlete Lenny St. Clair is, and what a great athlete Brian Jewell is, really giving it to Chi-Chi Cruz.
Oh, he ducks under the clothesline there, and he flying body press out both of them. He makes the tag, and here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, sudden impact in their big right hand. Now another one for good measure. And the impact is definitely showing with Chris Jericho in there right now. We're just over the 5-minute mark in this one. And Jericho coming alive, trying to save his team here. And Jewell comes in there for a big right hand. A big body slam now. And look at sudden impact. Chris Jericho, go. He's a one-man wrecking crew.
You're getting all excited. I know that Chris Jericho's always been your favorite. And look, he's hooking him for a belly-to-belly. And what a move. And I think Lenny may be in a little bit of trouble. And a smart move by Brian Jewell.
He did save his team on that one, or it would have been all over after that belly-to-belly suplex by Jericho. And a big drop kick there that lands right to the chest area, if you will, and Jewell from outside with that big left foot, if you will. And I'll tell you one thing, ladies and gentlemen, I'm breaking up in a sweat here at the ringside. This one has been a topsy-turvy contest. And look at sudden impact Chris Jericho go way up high in the sky. You can see it, and he comes down with that big hand that lands, and it might be all over. And saved by the bell there, not really, but by his partner Brian Jewell. We got all four of them in there.
Well, it's a Pier 6 brawl. We got all four men in the ring, and Chris Jericho made the initial mistake. You should never go for a pin in the other man's corner, but it hasn't hurt them a bit, because look at Jericho. He is on fire, and so is Chi-Chi Cruz, who's recuperated, and they got both men on the run, and I hope that Lenny and Cruz do something soon.
They turn that one around there. Holy cow, look at this one. Both of them reverse it one more time. And whole atomic drops there, and both of them outside the ring. And this one, oh, just what I expected might happen has happened. We've got all four of them outside the ring.
Well, why isn't the referee disqualified Chi-Chi Cruz for coming in? Jericho's the legal man with Lenny St. Clair. Lenny St. Clair and Brian Jewell were trying to have a wrestling match, and the other team, Jericho and Cruz, has turned it into a brawl, and they are going all the way live. And why doesn't the referee disqualify Chi-Chi Cruz?
Well, I'll tell you what, the referee had the count on, but we got to be close, and the bell has been rung. The referee has counted, I would think, both teams out from what we can see so far until we get his official decision. But look at this. You've got Cruz and Jewell on one side, and on the other side, you can't see him in your television set. Here we go. You've got Lenny St. Clair with Sunday. He's got a table for crying out loud.
My God, Joe, my God, he's going to use a table. And this is the Japanese influence on Lenny St. Clair. Look at him. He's a sick man. He's a twisted man. But look in the ring because T.G. Cruz and Brian Jewell are still going at it. He hit him with a table.
He threw it at him for crying out loud. I'll tell you what, nothing's safe in this kind of a match unless it's bolted down, and I even have to wonder about that. Look at Cruz and Jewell still go. I mean, this one's been about a 12-minute contest. And look at sudden impact, Chris Jericho now slamming the head
They're using
of
a
Lenny
table.
St. Clair.
They're using a table. They're using it. Oh my God! There's Brian Jewell. They threw Brian Jewell and he broke the table. I can't believe it.
Brian Jewell looks like he's laid out the... Look at Jericho on one side. They're still slamming away there at Brian Jewell. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break. This one ends in a double countout, but I can guarantee you, in my view and the view of the fans, your winners are those two men right there, T.G. Cruz and sudden impact Chris Jericho.